Alright, so the first thing you're going to want to do is create a faction. Alright, the next thing you're going to want to do is find a good spot to make your base. So if you do FMAP, you can see there's no claims around here. So I'm going to go ahead and set my home here. So I set my home here. I'm going to want to make sure I claim it as well. So you can do something like this. You can get a little like 3x3 area claimed. And then I can also do /F set home and set my faction home here. Alright, so I got my little dirt check here, but the next thing I'm going to want to do is do /vote, click on this link, and then vote on everything it says. Alright, so now that I voted, I've gained 5 of these vote keys, and then I've also gained about 25 minutes of fly time. So if I do /warp crates, I can go ahead and open these keys real quick. So you go to warp crates, open them all, and then as you can see, I got a handful of stuff, which I also got a cow spawner here, which is actually pretty good, because if you didn't know, factions is basically based on like who has the most spawners. Now wait, I know this title says no rank, you know, solo factions without a rank, but good news, I am giving away a top rank here from this video. All you have to do is comment your IGN, subscribe, and like the video, and you will be entered to win the giveaway for the top rank on this server, which is Ascendant rank, and I will be drawing those results on the 4th and final episode of this solo faction series. Alright, so the next thing you could do is /dailies. This is going to give you just like a little bit of like, you know, money and XP, so you know, just blah blah blah. There we go, we got $25,000 now. Alright, so next thing is, as you can see, I'm flying. All I did was /fly, and then I have these little chunk borders on, which basically all I did is I'm on Alpine client, and this is kind of like a 1.18 factions client, and I just enabled chunk borders. But there's other ways to go about it. Regardless though, if you remember, I got this chunk buster from the vote keys, and so basically what this does is if I place it right here and I confirm it, it will get rid of the entire chunk. So the next thing I'm going to do is go into the shop, go into rating, and then I'm going to pick up one of these infinite buckets. So I have this one, which is an infinite gen bucket down, and this one is an infinite gen bucket horizontal. So basically all these do is if you place it here, you can see that it will basically just make a whole line of cobblestone sideways. Now these definitely take a decent bit of money. As you can see, it takes about like 800 per, you know, definitely a little more expensive, but I'm gonna go ahead and gen this into, because we kind of want a wall around our you know, just base that we're gonna put some stuff in. So since this takes so much money to, you know, gen all the way down, like make these cobblestone walls, sometimes it's definitely more beneficial to kind of hand place this, especially with what I'm doing now. Like this honestly wouldn't even be that bad to hand place all of this, but you know, I'm lazy, so I'm gonna go ahead and do this. But yeah, basically this is kind of the bare minimum of what you need just to make sure that someone can't just walk inside your base. And then I know this might seem like there's like a bunch of ores and stuff on the side, like a bunch of diamonds or whatnot, but there's not actually anything there. It's an anti-X-ray plugin, so don't get confused. You also want to make sure you patch up any holes in the you know, the walls and whatnot, just so someone can't go through a cave and find your base. Alright, so the next thing we need to do is just find a way to start making some money. So basically there are 2 different avenues to making money. Alright, so an active way to make money is basically Dark Zone, and as you can see, I have this tier 2 stuff in my inventory. If I just do /kit, it's literally just this. So I bought it for $30,000. You know, I might not have had that money at the start, but you know, it's basically, you just get that stuff from voting. So you know, it shouldn't be too difficult for that to happen. But regardless, I have, you know, the bare necessities to do this, but I'm just going to show you basically how it goes. Alright, so the first thing you do is go to spawn, and then you jump in the war zone. And so basically you run around the war zone until you find one of these things, you right click it, and then bam, you're in the dark zone. Now obviously this is much more risky as PvP is enabled. Like I could go kill that guy if I wanted, but it's gonna give better rewards, and I'll show you all that in a second. So what I like to do is get a handful of mobs like kind of aggroed on me, then go in one of these little, like, you know, kind of things where you can crouch under and they can't hit you, and then just kill them. Now some have different health sizes, like, you know, some are really easy to kill and some are kind of harder to kill, so it just depends. So it could take a minute for sure. And so see, you know, you can get something like the money pouch, and I also got a skeleton spawner, so that's pretty good. Oh, and I'm gonna die. Woo! Okay, well, you know, that's one of the risks you take, you know, in the dark zone. You get some people who just, well, are virgins, to say the least. But, you know, at least we got out with a handful, you know, more money and whatnot. So, you know, it wasn't a complete waste. Now, a passive form of making money is basically something like this, like a cactus farm or any, you know, type of automated farm, whatever it is. Basically, all you have to do is make a cactus farm like I'm doing right now, and it's just going to make you money without you even doing anything. I'm not going to go into super detail about, you know, how to make a cactus farm, since there's a ton of tutorials on YouTube and stuff, but, you know, if y'all want me to, you know, just comment and I'll, you know, maybe I can add that in the next video. But basically, you know, you just make this cactus farm, and, you know, at the start, you know, it's going to be a little expensive to get it going. But, you know, as you can see on the screen, you could just find a sand biome, a desert biome, and just, you know, mine sand and get cactus too. I mean, it's probably the best way to do it because string is pretty cheap to buy. So, you know, if you can do that stuff, you know, the grindy way, it'll probably just be, you know, end up being better in the long run. But eventually your farm's going to be, you know, so tall that it's basically just going to replenish itself and start making you like actual money that you can just use for other stuff. Now, I do real quick want to just kind of talk about what the rest of the series is going to be. I'm planning on it being 4 episodes. I'm hoping that it's within the next like 4 days. Like, it's just going to be daily episodes. And it's just going to be a quick, you know, kind of 4-episode series. But basically, this episode is obviously kind of like the startup, you know, money-making episode. And then next episode is going to be focused on, you know, a little bit of base building. You know, I'm hopefully going to be able to have a good bit of money from this cactus farm to, you know, start on an actual base. So next episode, I'm basically just going to show you how to make, you know, a super protected base that it's going to be very difficult for someone to raid you in. And, you know, that'll probably just be the best method out there. The episode after that, I'm planning on kind of talking about, you know, some raiding, how to raid, how to find raids, you know, all the ins and outs about raiding, as well as release some cannon scams. You know, I know in a lot of my other videos, especially the raiding ones, you know, people are asking for the, you know, the scams of the cannons I use in the raids. You know, the 3rd episode is going to be kind of where I give some of those out, you know, a concrete cannon, a 255, a 383, you know, stuff like that. And I'm also going to go over in that episode, you know, how cannons work, the basic understand, like super basic understanding of how they work, just so you have somewhat of an idea of how to, you know, maneuver a cannon. Because honestly, it's really not that difficult. It's a pretty, you know, daunting, you know, idea how to learn how to cannon and whatnot, but it's really not hard. Once you kind of know the basics, the rest just kind of come naturally, so, you know, it's not too bad at all. But yeah, once again, you know, the top rank giveaway I will be rolling in the 4th and final episode, which will be the PvP episode. So, you know, I'm not the biggest PvPer. If you watch this, you know, channel for a while, you know that's definitely not the case. But I am going to kind of show off, you know, how you can get some god sets, how you can, you know, maybe even improve your PvP a little bit. You know, I might know a trick or two. Sometimes my skills might lack, but I think that might just be, you know, because I am, you know, over the age of 20. I know, big shocker, right, dude? I'm an old guy. But yeah, in that episode, I'm just going to talk about, you know, how to get god sets, how to get enchants, you know, the best weapons, the best sets, yada, 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 all that type of jazz. I will be covering that. So, you know, that's basically how this is going to work. And honestly, that's like all the categories I think you really need to be, you know, somewhat successful as a solo, that is, in factions. But, you know, topping on it again, you know, I am going to do the top rank giveaway in that 4th episode. So if you haven't, you know, comment down below your IGN, make sure you're subscribed and like the video, and you'll get yourself a chance to win that top rank. But yeah, I do think that's about it for this first video. You know, it's a very basic introductory to factions. You know, I'm going to go more into depth and some other stuff in the next videos. But hopefully this is a good kind of, you know, just basis of operations of how you can get started and how you can kind of, you know, get your feet under yourself. So yeah, I will see everyone in tomorrow's video.